We shall not be moved. We're standing up for Standing Rock. We shall not be moved. Pipeline construction we must block. We shall not be moved. We're standing here together for freedom. We shall not be moved.
Hey everybody, how are we doing today? First, I want to start by saying you're all beautiful people, and thank you for being here today to fight for a better world. So, I just want to emphasize that we've brought a lot of groups together here today because we know that the solutions to climate change are the solutions to a bunch of other problems too. Like we can create more employment with renewable energy. We can create better health outcomes. We can welcome immigrants and climate refugees when we build a better world that provides sustainable energy through renewables, and we provide mass transportation for all people. I think that's something that sounds pretty good. What do you think? Yeah! Awesome. So yeah, we're gonna march around Hartford today. We're gonna talk to some people. We're gonna put some pressure on the banks. We're going to basically through love and peace and energy, we're going to push for a better world that we can all enjoy and that benefits everyone, including our climate, including our people, our planet, and I just want to thank all the organizations for endorsing. There's people walking around with some buckets. If you just have coins, it's fine. If you have dollars, it's fine. To fund marches like this, we need to do more of them. We don't need to do them often, so if you can help at all, look for a good person with a blue bucket, drop a couple bucks in it, it'd be great, thank you. So, I just want to say again, it's beautiful that you're here, and I want to thank you all for all the action that you do, and let's just keep it going. We hear a lot about the bad news, but there's good news too. The good news is that we stopped the gas power plant in New Milford. That's not going to be built. We stopped a pipeline that was going to go through a Hartford environmental area, and that's not going to be built. We stopped Keystone a couple years ago. Now, to be realistic, there's a danger of it coming back, but we'll stop it again because, they thought they could bring us down, but they couldn't. They try to keep us home. They try to keep us from being active, but we're here, and that means we're powerful. And you personally are powerful, and together we're even more powerful. So as Gail said, come to our meetings. Let us know about events you're having. We need to keep this energy up. This is the energy that's going to change not only the current people, but the new administration coming in, because they can't ignore people in the streets. And when we come in the streets and we act together, we win. We've shown it over and over again, and I believe we can win. So thank you for being here, and we'll move on to the next speaker.
Thank you. And our next speaker is going to be Martha Klein. She's from the Connecticut Sierra Club. She's communications chair and lead volunteer for Beyond Fracking Gas Infrastructure Campaign. Martha.
Thank you, Gail. Good day, everybody. So, I'm a volunteer with the Connecticut Sierra Club, and I'm going to talk for a couple of minutes about what's happening with energy strategy in Connecticut and where we are now, where we should be going. So, it's mostly bad, but as Ben pointed out, there are a couple of bright spots. Right now, the state of Connecticut is dedicated to a policy of expanding the use of fracked natural gas. They want to convert hundreds of thousands of more customers to the use of fracked methane or natural gas for residential and business uses. Increasing customers in this way fabricates a need for fracked gas that we don't currently have. The reason that they want to create this need for fracked methane is to justify the expansion of massive interstate pipelines. There are 3 of them, and one of them was almost completed, and parts of it have gone online. It's known as the AIM. This is a terrible pipeline bringing massive amounts of fracked methane across our region from Pennsylvania that pass either directly under Indian Point nuclear power plant or right next to it. Another factor that's related to the expanding the use of gas and creating justification for these huge interstate pipelines is the increased building of power plants in our state. Remember that in Connecticut, we're a net energy exporter. We already have plenty of power for our electricity in the state of Connecticut, even though we pay a lot for it, but the reasons for that are really business reasons. But we don't need that fracked energy here. We have adequate energy. So building power plants is a way of creating a use for gas that we don't need. And the energy winds up getting exported to other big cities or to other regions. So overwhelmingly, our energy policy is taking us in the wrong direction, and the state remains committed to this. However, the bright spot is that right now is the moment when we will be able to revise the energy strategy of Connecticut. Coming up, probably it's going to be released over the winter. We'll get a new draft of Connecticut energy policy. We're going to ask everyone to submit comments, and we're going to try to get a better energy strategy. You're going to hear other people speaking today about the solutions, but I really wanted to lay out what's wrong. We don't need more fossil fuels in the state at all, and we can prove it. And if we need any more power at all, we need energy efficiencies, solar, wind, and water. Goddess bless. Let's have fun. And the next speaker will be...
Hi, hello everyone. How's everyone doing? Great. It's lovely to see your faces. I love the signs, the peace sign back there. It's looking excellent, and I love all the love and the type of community bonding that we're doing today. So give yourselves a round of applause for that. That's what I like to see. Hello everyone, I'm going to formally introduce myself. My name is Shelby Williams. Even though I am fairly young, I try as much as possible to be active within my community, and I love seeing that this is my community and this is what I have to show for. I'm a student, full matriculated at CCSU, and I'm a part of a major amount of organizations, 2 of which are YSA, which is Youth for Socialist Action, and Black Student Union. Granted, within both coalitions or groups that are on campus, we try very hard to promote fairness, education, and engagement when it comes to racial affairs and political policies that impact our youth and the people that live here effectively, and one of which is obviously rapid global climate change. We know that it is an issue, and that's why we're here today, to stand up for justice, for job security, and the works. So, with that being said, I can't wait to march and talk with you all, and I'm here to introduce Whittley's Bermudez. If you are in the crowd, can you come up please? Thank you very much. Welcome, Whittley's Bermudez.
Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing today? All right. We love to hear that energy and feel it from the crowd. It's so important for us to stand here in solidarity, especially at a time like this when so much is happening in our country, and both at our state and at our local levels. And I'm here to spread the message that we have to remember and not forget about our cities, our urban populations, our communities of color who have felt the deepest in terms of environmental justice and environmental racism that we feel every single day. Communities of color, as we all know, in the environmental movement are the most marginalized, as well as people of low income are the most marginalized when it comes to the environment. And now more than ever before, we have to stand together, we have to work together. Whether it's Latinos, African Americans, West Indians, Black Lives Matter movement, the LGBTQ movement, Asians, we have to all come together, white, black, rural, urban, suburban. And now is the opportunity to make sure that we spread not only the message of kindness, of love, but an opportunity for our future generation. And with the future generation message, I have here Sandra, who's been an amazing intern at the Connecticut League of Conservation Voters, to spread the message to the young people as well. say really quick. I go to Fairfield University, and even in a college setting, not everyone knows about all of these issues. So what I want to say is, you know, when people don't know about these issues, be patient. You know, tell them, teach them, because even if they're educated, even if they think that they know, they might not. So that's what I just want to say. Thank you.
Hello guys, we're still winging it. We're going to listen now to two songs. Ben Grossup is from Greenfield, Massachusetts. He is an activist folk singer, and he uses song to amplify the ideas and values of transformative social movements. So now you can warm it up with some singing.
We do. You make your profits from extractive industries. This changes everything. Your business plan would heat the earth by 6 degrees. This changes everything. You claim the rights to the atmosphere. You take more space every single year. But 7 billion other people live down here. This changes everything. You strip the coal, you drill the seas, you frack the land. This changes everything. Poisons fill the earth as your pipeline routes expand. This changes everything. Your business grows and your wealth accrues. You launch super PACs and bloody coups for you to win. We all must lose. This changes everything. You sound beautiful. The poor seek refuge from disasters you create. This changes everything. Your mansion's on a hill and guards are at the gate. This changes everything. You buy the president and you write the laws. You send drilling rigs where the sea ice thaws. People gonna rise like the floods you caused. This changes everything. Imagine the world that will be unfolding from history and what future we dare to see. This changes everything. Living soil holding carbon taken from the air. This changes everything. Don't need a car when public transit lines are there. This changes everything. Freedom for the migrant and the refugee. This changes everything. Sharing with my neighbor who also shares with me. This changes everything. Power from the wind and waves and sun. This changes everything. Power in our hands when victory is won. This changes everything. Our children will live with dignity on the only home for humanity. much. I have one more song for you. This is inspired by a book by Chris Hedges. He wrote a book called Days of Destruction, Days of Revolt, where he and his co-author Joe Sacco traveled the United States to the sacrifice zones of this country, the places in this country where the lives and the land of people have been sacrificed to the bottom lines of profit-seeking corporations who have no care for the destruction they are causing. This also has a sing-along part. It's a little more complicated than the last one. And again, I want you to be able to hear each other, so think about taking another step forward if you feel comfortable doing that. This is No More Sacrifice Zone. The army closed you in as they drove you from the plains. They said the reservation was a sacrifice zone. The Air Force took the uranium, just the fallout remains. They said the reservation was a sacrifice zone, where your story's been forgotten. We will make it known. First Nations, you are not alone. If this sacrifice continues, will the next one be our own? No more sacrifice zones. No more sacrifice zones. Well, the U.S. government used the term sacrifice zones to designate large swaths of Indian country that was set for coal and uranium extraction. Every day, this designation is becoming applicable to more and more parts of the globe. The coal men blew the mountain, killing everything nearby. They're turning the region to a sacrifice zone. The state refuses to help your people as you watch them die. They're turning the region to a sacrifice zone, where your story's been forgotten. Where your story's been forgotten, we will make it known. We will make it known. Appalachia, you are not alone. Appalachia, you are not alone. If this sacrifice continues, will the next one be our own? No more sacrifice zone. No more sacrifice zone. The rich make voting obsolete as they quash local control. They're turning your city to a sacrifice zone. The cops occupy your street and leave a bloody toll. They're turning your city to a sacrifice zone, where your story's been forgotten. Where your story's been, we will make it known. We will make it known. Ferguson, you are not alone. Ferguson, you are not alone. If this sacrifice continues, will the next one be our own? No more sacrifice zones. No more. No more sacrifice zones. The walls divide you from the world and make you feel alone. They're turning the next village to a sacrifice zone. The pundits provide excuses to send in the tanks and drones. They're turning the next village to a sacrifice. Oh, where your story's been forgotten, where your story's been forgotten, we will make it known. Palestine, Palestine, you are not alone. If this sacrifice continues, will the next one be our own? No more sacrifice zones, no more sacrifice zones. Throughout the world, men treat you as a thing to sell and own. They're turning women's bodies to a sacrifice zone. The violence you condemn, so many others will condone. They're turning women's bodies to a sacrifice zone, where your story's been forgotten, we will make it known. Sisters, sisters, you are not alone. If this sacrifice continues, will the next one be our own? No more sacrifice zones, no more sacrifice zones. This goes out to the people at Standing Rock. The company picked your homeland for the pipeline to go through. They're turning the watershed to a sacrifice zone. It's been 500 years of war to take this land from you. They're turning the watershed to a sacrifice zone, where your story's been forgotten, we will make it known. Standing Rock, you are not alone. Standing Rock, you are not alone. If this sacrifice continues, will the next one be our own? No more sacrifice zones, no more sacrifice zones, no more sacrifice zones, no more sacrifice zones.
Hello everyone. So let's just give another round of applause to Ben for those wonderful songs. Awesome, awesome. So I'm here again to introduce another affiliate and founder and friend that is for the movement that we are here today for, and I would like to welcome Reverend Tom Carr, representative and founder of Interreligious Eco-Justice Network.
Can I go around this way?
Yes, please welcome him and give him a welcome round of applause.
Wonderful. That's what they do. That's what they do to preachers. Cut them off. Does that work? There you go. That works. All right. All right. It is wonderful to be here. You know, as we were singing that first song, I don't know if you noticed, but there was a very large bird. I can't tell the difference between hawks and eagles and anything like that. But for almost the entire song, it circled. It had wings, large wings, and the tips of the wings, and it was. The wind was holding it up, and it was just enjoying it. And one of the things in the last one, it said, "You are not alone." And we are not alone in this work. We think that this is, this is all. Earth herself is working to be healed as well. So that's great. We come here to bear witness to and work for good quality jobs, for human justice, for all people, and for one planet that is healthy and flourishing and life-giving to all. A lot of people think that these are all separate issues. And it's a time to come together because all these separate issues, this is one issue. These are all manifestations of one issue. To live in a world, in a place with people and all of the creatures in harmony together. My starting point for all of this is my religious faith. And from that perspective, this work of jobs and justice and a living and sustainable planet is fundamentally a moral, an ethical, and a spiritual issue. Because all life, all existence, all beings, everything, in my perspective, is God's. It's not mine to do with whatever I choose to do with it. It's God's or the Great Spirit or whatever name you give that which is beyond all names. And the call and the responsibility that each and every one of us have as human beings is to take care of this. Because it's a sacred place. Earth and one another, we are sacred place. And this is why our brothers and sisters in the camps of Standing Rock, North Dakota call themselves water protectors and not protesters, because water is life, as we hear over and over and over again. Standing Rock is an environmental justice crisis that is smacking us in the face right now, whether the corporate media covers it or not. It's what the Lakota people have described as their last stand. They are not giving up the fight, and neither should we.
That's right.
What we are doing right here on this day, and what will continue and what has already been going on, is another way to stand with Standing Rock, because the issues of jobs and justice and a flourishing planet will always be going on. Let me finish by reading a brief statement by the Native American author and activist Winona LaDuke. Her words are directed particularly at Standing Rock, but I think they matter to us as well. She says, Standing Rock is an unpredicted history lesson for all of us. More than any moment I recall Wounded Knee, the Vietnam War, the time of Martin Luther King Jr., this moment stands as a crossroads in the battle for social justice. It is also an economic issue in a time of economic system transformation. And profoundly, this is a question of the future of this land. And the world is watching. The world is watching, and the world is watching us as well. So let's march. Let's do what's right and good and holy and sacred. Thank you.
Thank you. Shout out to the girls from Miss Porter, the 2 cars came. Okay, we've got 4 more speakers and then we're going to start walking so we can warm up. Does that sound like a good idea? Yay! Okay. Our next speaker is Mark Scully, and he's president of the People's Action for Clean Energy, and he does a great deal of legal work with the climate. Mark?
Thank you very much. You are beautiful people. It's great to see such a great turnout. I love the signs. I love the diversity, but I gotta say, it's really nice to see so many young people, because you are the future. So, I am from People's Action for Clean Energy, and there's so many good things happening these days, but we also face a lot of challenges with this new administration and a lot of the daily battles over pipelines, over nuclear power plants. I want to invite you to take part in a positive, constructive project that we at People's Action for Clean Energy are carrying out. And that is, we're working on a grassroots movement and developing plans to move Connecticut to 100% renewable energy. Absolutely. I think we all know the technology's there. What we need is the political will. So let's get together and figure out how to do this. And that's what PACE, People's Action for Clean Energy, is doing. When I say grassroots, we're going town by town. And we're looking at how much energy do we use in town. We're actually getting our data from the utilities. We're adding it all up. And then we're saying, how much could we actually reduce that if we were serious, and I mean serious, about efficiency and conservation? How about if we all start driving electric cars? And what changes do we need to make to our grid? So we're actually working on detailed plans town by town. So I invite you to join us. Get involved in your local clean energy task force in your town. If there isn't one, then let's start one. And let's get your town into this project so that when the powers that be come and say, we need a new natural gas pipeline, then we're there to say, no we don't, we have a plan. And when they say we have to renew the licenses for Milford nuclear power plants, we can be there and say, we don't need that. We've got 100% clean renewable energy, and we've got a lot of people who have figured out how to do it, and so we don't need that dirty stuff. So join us at PACE, People's Action for Clean Energy. There are flyers out on the table. It's called 100% CT. Go to our website, PACE-Clean Energy. I'll be here today. I'd love to talk to you, but I think the power of the people who are assembled here today, if we get serious about working out the details on this, nobody can stop us. So thank you for coming. Thank you for listening.
Hello, everyone. So I hope you're toasty in your mittens and gloves. I will be introducing another speaker for you today. I hope you give a welcoming round of applause for Mark Scully. His motto, his personal intentions for what he's doing is no nukes and no war. He believes if we come together and unify, right, and we take the stand of having peace, security, and understanding of one another to further develop a better world. So I hope you all give a round of applause for Mark Scully. Whoops, my bad. It was Joe Wasserman.
Hi. With a group called No Nukes, No War, and I want to thank the organizers of this and the people who came out. I want to build on what Reverend Carr said. It's all interconnected. 2 weeks ago we had a peace conference in Middletown. Out of it came a postcard campaign that we hope to deliver to the offices of our U.S. senators and congresspeople to oppose the very dangerous military intervention that's being contemplated in Syria, which would put us, which may end up in a direct confrontation with Russia, which would end up in a nuclear confrontation. We need to take nuclear weapons off our hair trigger alert, which leaves about 20 minutes for us to respond to what is perceived to be an attack, and there have been errors before in these systems. We need to stop the modernization of nuclear weapons, which is estimated to cost $1 trillion over the next 30 years, money that we could be using for green infrastructure. I have these postcards. I urge people to sign. I'll have them around. Just ask me for them. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm here to introduce another speaker. Please welcome Bishop Selders. Bishop Selders is a leader of Moral Monday, Connecticut, and in recent years, he has made numerous actions in defense of Black Lives Matter and racial justice. Please welcome Bishop Selders.
All right.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Where I'm from, you speak back to the black preacher. Good afternoon. I am so pleased and honored to have been asked to speak to you today. to be among those whose responsibility of leadership ennobles the cause of people, the work of justice, the respect of our great mother, Mama Earth. In this place of responsibility that I am from, of duty and of vision, standing in the shoes of the prophet, linked by my birthright, the black prophetic tradition has been the leaven in the American democratic loaf. These words spoken by my friend and brother freedom fighter, the Reverend Dr. Cornel West. Dr. West says this, he goes on to say, what has kept American democracy from going fascist or authoritarian or autocratic has been the legacy of people like Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, Martin King, and Fannie Lou Hamer. And this is not just because black people have a monopoly on truth, you see, or on goodness or beauty. It is because the black freedom movement puts pressure on the American empire in the name of integrity, decency, honor, and virtue. I agree. My life commitment in the work of social justice is rooted in the struggle for our common humanity. My spiritual guide and mentor and teacher, the Reverend Dr. Howard Thurman, said in his seminal book, Jesus and the Disinherited, he said, those who live life with their backs against the wall must understand the autonomy of the issues facing them and recognize how fear, deception, and hatred are complicit in the maintaining of systems of oppression. Furthermore, they must learn how to destroy the power of those destructive forces by pursuing an intentional love that seeks reconciliation. So for me today, everyone who wants to engage in this kind of work must do so from a position of humility and must be anchored in a love ethic. For change work must be from the place of deep, abiding love. That is, love of other, love of creation, and love of self. For these are the antidotes for fear, deception, and hatred. These hounds of hell. So for me, the struggle is obvious. The opposition is well-funded and temporarily in charge. The work is before us. The challenge to resist is preeminent. And I am resolute. Let me close my remarks by saying to you, what we affirm here today, what our coming together under a banner, one banner means and must mean, it must mean that we will no longer be willing to continue with business as usual. It must mean that we are willing to leave our domiciles of complacency out into the streets of turn-up and action with our bodies, with our souls, with our minds, with our hearts, with freedom, liberty, and justice for all as the end game. For our cause is just. Our work is righteous. Our duty is well-founded. Our call unquestioned. Our commitment then has to be honest, authentic, and sure. For me, you see, until the killing of a black man and black mother's son is as important as the killing of a white man and a white mother's son, we who believe in freedom cannot rest. I said cannot rest. Cannot rest until it comes. Thank you.
Wow. We're going to hear Bishop John Selden speak again when we march to the African burial ground to hear him again later on. Our last speaker this afternoon in this section is John Haggerty. He's president of the State Council of Mechanics. He's been a leader in the effort to explain Labour's state and responsibilities in the struggle for climate justice. And following John, we're going to have Chris Hutchison tell you what to do on the marching section, which is following. So, John, how you doing?
Hi, hello sisters and brothers. It's kind of too cold to talk about global warming, but here we are. I'm president of the Connecticut State Council of Machinists. We represent more than 10,000 active and retired machinist union members in the state of Connecticut, and I'm proud to tell you that the Connecticut State Council of Machinists endorsed this rally. We gather today in uncertain times. There's confusion and even conflict within the working class. Confusion when so many workers, especially white male workers, cast their votes for a billionaire who says he will represent our interests. There's confusion and even conflict within the labor movement, with construction workers in the Dakotas working on a pipeline that could jeopardize their own kids, fighting against Native Americans, and threatening their children and our children here at home as well. It's discouraging, it's disheartening, and it's frightening to see climate deniers put in positions of power. But that's why I'm here today. I want to say to you, we have no time to be discouraged or depressed. We don't have a minute, we don't have a day to say, I can't cope with this. We've got a lot to do, and we've got a lot to win. Climate change is not waiting. Climate change is relentless and soulless, and it's the enemy of our future. When we stand still or we lose ground, climate change advances. So, no more hanging heads. No more white wine and TV binging. No more beer and chips. We got to keep moving like we are today. And don't give up on the ultimate wisdom and the self-correcting ability of the working class, and especially the labor movement. This year, my union, the International Association of Machinists, 500,000 strong, passed a resolution at our national convention. It said that climate change is a priority for our union for the foreseeable future. Unions that pass resolutions are sending resources and are among those standing up for and with the brave people of Standing Rock.
All right.
The confusion that some experience is easily cleared up because everyone really just wants a safe, healthy future with jobs to provide for their families. And the only way to really do that is for labor and environmentalists, cities, suburbs, and country, white, African Americans and Latinos, and even some of the business community to come together and fight for a sustainable future. We have to fight for renewable energy technology that's made here. We need to create clean energy for our homes, our workplaces, and transportation. We need to end the fossil fuel economy.
That's right.
So don't you dare be discouraged. The people of the future are counting on us. They're counting on us. Climate change is the most critical issue facing all of us for the rest of our lives. So tell you what, shake hands, fist bump, or hug the person next to you because we're partners in this. We will win together. Together we'll build a sustainable future controlled by the people. Keep your head up, raise your voice, march, raise hell, find joy in the struggle, love each other, and love the earth. Thank you very much.